Hello, YouTube. Let's do another one. Illuminates difficulty 9, retaliatory strike. I actually kind of like what I have now. Maybe I should do the directional shield. Let's try it. So unfortunately he disconnected, but I'll keep going and I'll see how far I can last. Someone else is joining, so I'm staring at my Helldiver to make sure they don't land on my head. I do have a nice object in the middle of the retaliatory strike here, so I can use that for my arc shotgun. As you may know, the arc shotgun goes through objects. It can't be stopped. Although visually it looks like it can be, it really can't be. As you can see here, looks like he's disconnecting.
Helldiver has left combat zone. Repeat, Helldiver has left combat zone.
Seems like we have some connectivity issues. The water's a little annoying because it is enough to slow you down if you do run over it.
Helldiver deploying to combat zone. Engaging target area.
Strafing runs are great to take out obelisks. I do talk about strafing runs a lot. I think they're... I don't know if they're overpowered, but the fact that their cooldown is so low and you can cast it multiple times in multiple fights just makes it very appealing. Okay.
Request confirmed.
I'm going to queue up a strafing run so when they spawn in I can throw it. This guy's having a horrible day.
Request acknowledged.
Doesn't look very healthy for me here.
Request accepted.
Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting to be called in here.
Request confirmed. Helldiver deploying to combat zone.
That's a pretty big save by him to use the reinforced stratagem while he was on the ground. Very smart. A lot of people panic when they're incapacitated, but sometimes it's better just to hold a reinforced beacon in your hand for a while until you die. As soon as you die, the beacon will fall to the ground and you'll be called back in again. So it seems we're using a Tesla tower. That guy killed himself with it.
Request access incoming.
Tesla towers aren't good for a retaliatory strike. It prevents you from going in an area. A retaliatory strike is an arena, so... Oh, this is really stupid.
Request confirmed.
So now we're really limited to where we can go. All it takes is one enemy to be placed just right to ruin everything. It's very awkward. So that player spent 4 stratagems on a Tesla tower. And they have a trident, so they're pretty limited on what they can do. I'm going to hold on to a heavy strafing run here.
Defensive equipment inbound. Deploying ordnance.
Okay. I might have to dive on the ground here, depending on where the virtual wall is.
Dropping equipment. Repeat. Dropping equipment. Defensive stratagem incoming. Helldiver has left combat zone.
Okay. So they casted a bunch of Tesla towers and then quit the game. I wasn't sure if that was up either. I'm actually just going to kill it so I can, play the game.
Firing for effect.
I need a couple more kills. Okay.
Extraction confirmed. Shuttle inbound. T-minus 1 minute. Engaging target area. Engaging target area. Helldiver deploying to combat zone.
That player is back again, so I just need to be a little bit careful with all the Tesla towers are going to call in. Seems like they're having
Helldiver
trouble
has
loading.
left combat
No.
zone. Supplies incoming. All right, down there. Deploying ordnance. Firing for effect.
Alright, we should all be able to get on the shuttle.
Minus 10 seconds.
So the Tesla strategy apparently worked out fine, but you can see that it put us in a really tight spot. I mean, if you're blanketing most of the arena with damage and death and such, then it hinders the team in movement. And it's not something that I ever say is good. Well, I'm not sure if these guys are going to stick around or not, but... I guess they won't. I guess what I could do is still do this anyway and see if people join. I have no interest in wanting to complete a 12 planet alone.
Launch sequence initiated. Crew to
You can
station.
certainly do it with various distractor beacons and but no interest. But we'll see how far I can get without some help here. I have to be mindful of tanks spawning in. I will be able to kill patrols rather quickly with the Scorcher, but any tanks that I see spawn in, I'm going to have to dive on the ground quickly, because if you dive on the ground, there's a chance that you won't be seen, so an alarm won't be set off. I did see that we had to defend the launch pad, so I do like incendiary bombs. Despite them being red, they can be used defensively. And we are on a snow planet, so it would be wise for me to choose the all-terrain boots. So
Mission commencing.
So I'm definitely going to have to pick and choose my battles. And just chip away at it. We'll see how long this goes. I have to be mindful of the objectives. Maybe find an objective, and then if I see that there's too many patrols or if it's too much of a threat, then back off for a bit. But, you know, just chip away at it.
Helldiver deploying to combat zone.
Okay.
Dropping equipment.
Okay, so
Supplies incoming. Equipment on its way. Dropping equipment.
we are definitely not ready yet to call in the launch pad. If you feel like an area is too hot, too violent, then starting a defensive objective like the
Helldiver
launch
has
pad
left
isn't a good
combat
idea.
zone. Repeat. Helldiver has left combat zone.
I'm curious if there's an issue with Helldiver servers or what the deal is, because there's a lot of disconnects today. I don't know what's going on. We can try...
Engaging target area.
Wow, that didn't work out at all. I actually thought I was on the move too. I guess my right joystick got stuck there. I guess I was walking and my right joystick got stuck. I don't know why I was walking. My right joystick does get stuck once in a while. But that was a pretty big mistake, trying to even do that alone. I could have instead brought like an emplacement or a series of emplacements. That's also common to do for defensive objectives and higher difficulties. This player is using a sickle, which isn't nearly enough damage to take down some of the higher hit point targets.
Helldiver deploying to combat.
I'm running low on ammunition, so I'm about to call in more, and then just end up taking both ammo boxes.
Equipment on its way.
I want to contribute to the objective here. The player with the sickle won't need ammo, and the other player just spawned in, so he doesn't need ammo either. Truth transmitter is on the left side, so we would do that next. It's at the edge of the map, so...
Reloading!
Equipment on its way. Stand by. Equipment on its way. Stand by. Equipment on its way.
That player was smart to wait till we got to an objective before calling in their stratagems. Very efficient. With the commando, I position myself in front of the tank, and then I shoot so that the trajectory of the missile goes over the tank and then hits it from behind. Okay, I got shot there. Truth transmitter's done, so you always want to check to see where you're going next. So bottom right, I think, would be next. Always have a sense of direction. I have to reload my Scorcher. Okay, we were lucky. We found that pretty quick. Take my time when shooting. The Scorcher doesn't really hold a lot of ammunition. And rightfully so, because it's a very powerful weapon.
Reload! Engage!
Okay, now we have to do the ordnance.
Deploying to combat zone.
Not a fan of vehicles,
Dropping equipment.
especially in higher difficulties. We're going to set off a lot of alarms. And in fact, now that we're just sitting here waiting, we set off another alarm. So we're going to have to call in a sniffer. We're going to have to disarm some mines here. We have another disconnection. I don't know what's happening today.
Roger that!
Why we have so many disconnections.
Equipment on its way.
I wonder if it's me. I wonder if like my internet connection's funky or something. Or if that would even cause that to happen, I don't know. Hopefully I'm covered while I do the objective. Go nice and slow on those arrow sequences, so you don't end up killing yourself. Sometimes in higher difficulties, the mines can be outside of the drawn area on the ground.
Helldiver deploying to combat zone.
Oh, case in point. Always watch for falling players. Can't see the last arrow, but I think it's right. Let's keep it moving here. I'll pick up samples for them. It's good that they're going left and that I went right there, because if you're close enough to the objective, then the map will reveal it to you. So if we separate ourselves, we're covering more of an area. I'm lucky the fire debuff killed those patrol units.
Incoming. Dropping equipment.
The other player's calling in a commando, so we should be able to do assisted reloads. You just have to be mindful of being efficient with the reloads. Waiting until they shoot their 8th shot before reloading them. And in fact, I'll take this ammo box because no one else is going to take it. I do have to be reloaded, but I just want to get to extraction, so I don't need to be reloaded right now. We also have an APC with a cannon on top, so I don't need to reload.
Extraction confirmed.
I'm going to call in some ammo. I need to reload my commando, so I'll do that now.
30 seconds.
The other player could have reloaded me, but I'm not expecting them to be in sync with me. An alarm went off bottom right, so I'll do the incendiary bomb now.
Defense drop incoming. -1. Defense drop incoming. Incoming fire. T-30 seconds.
The Rep 80 player is healing perpetually, regardless how much health we have. Which, as I'm sure viewers know by now in my previous videos, it's incredibly ineffective. Just always healing. There's even an incapacitated player behind him. I feel like we should all be able to get on, so I'm going to step on the shuttle.
Shuttle leaving. T-10 seconds. All right, down there. Deploying ordnance.
So in my last video, I believe I was talking a lot about the Rep 80, and I feel like I talk about it quite frequently in my videos because of how commonly misused the item is. So if you want to know why I feel like it's so misused, you can probably just look at the last video that I recorded, or any other video before that with Rep 80 in the title. I made a mistake with the launch pad. I should have identified that I wasn't ready yet to defend it. I needed probably help with that. I didn't equip like an emplacement or anything. So I probably would have needed help with that.
I repeat, crew to stations.
So we have an escort. We have 2 artilleries, AA rather, and capture area. So where would we go first here? North, he says. Very well. Keeping the boots.
Mission commencing.
I felt like the Scorcher really worked out.
Mission commencing.
I think there was 1 or 2 instances where I wanted to actually stab something, but I didn't have a bayonet, so I'll try Suppressor, see if I have any improved results. I didn't use the incendiary bombs as much as I wanted to, so I'm going to equip another ammo stratagem. I do love ammo. I say it in my previous videos. Call in ammo, because you're going to be doing a lot of shooting in higher difficulties.
Commencing mission.
I think that's it. Not only will you be doing a lot of shooting like when you're fighting after an alarm is set off, but even the fact that there's so many patrols, you're going to be doing a lot of shooting. So consequently, you're going to find yourself calling in ammunition often. And there's always that one player that brings a weapon that requires ammunition, but then they choose not to bring ammunition. So I feel like 2 is like a must-have sometimes. Actually, most often, not sometimes. So I checked the radar. There isn't really anything too close to us, but I'm calling in the commando, and now I'm just watching out for patrols. Always watch out for patrols. Most games, the like first 30 seconds, the alarm sets off. And I did not see that fall on my head there. We're in a pretty tight spot, so it's kind of hard to navigate. Grab this ammo. So, calling in an APC for a convoy escort in itself is wrong, in my opinion. A convoy should really be defended on all sides, so if you are having one player be a driver and then another player shooting, that's half the team in a vehicle, and it's kind of awkward, but we'll see. In my opinion, it's pretty awkward. We'll see how well it works out. Okay. So we should be able to use the cannon in the vehicle to take out the cyborg AA rather quickly. I actually can't retract my map. I don't know why. Oh, there it goes. That was weird. Capture areas below us. I don't know where this player's going. I guess we're going to the artillery. Not sure where we're going. We do have some shots still with the cannon, so I'm expecting this to work out. Okay.
Stand by. Equipment on its way.
And then finally, after the black box, we have the truth transmitter. Just have to find it. Okay. I'm surprised I was not incapacitated in that situation. I spoke too soon. Alright. What happened?
Helldiver has left combat zone.
I now can't get in the driver's side. Pretty nice shot by the Rumbler player. If you're using the Rumbler against Cyborg IFVs, you have to aim for the back of the tank, not the front or the sides. It's not anti-tank. It doesn't pierce armor, but the weak spot of a Cyborg IFV is the back.
Extraction confirmed. Shuttle inbound. ETA T-minus 1 drop. Dropping equipment. Dropping equipment. Dropping equipment. Dropping equipment. Repeat. Dropping equipment.
Ooh. I did not react quick enough. I also turned the wrong way. I had to turn more perpendicular to where the tank wanted to shoot. With the tank disabled, we want to leave it like that so that another one doesn't spawn. All we have to do is actually step away a little bit, and it should stay disabled. And then another one won't spawn, another one that can be completely mobile. So we're just leaving it disabled. It's harmless as long as we stay away from it. I have to reload. Alright, we should all be able to get on the shuttle. The tank is still disabled, another one isn't spawning.
Helldiver has left combat zone. Repeat, Helldiver has left combat.
You'll find that most situations, disabling the tank in the appropriate spot on the edge of the screen, far away from the objective, far away from extraction, is actually better than killing the tank. In higher difficulties against the cyborgs, the tank spawns rather quickly after it's killed. So disabling it and having it in a spot where it can't move but also is harmless is actually very beneficial to the group. I made a couple mistakes that game with how I played the tank, played against a cyborg IFV. I wasn't quick enough in evading the projectile shot from the tank. I wasn't moving perpendicular enough. Otherwise, I think everything else went well. The APC went pretty well with the convoy, but I feel like in my experience, most of the time, a vehicle is not a good idea when you're escorting a convoy. A convoy needs to be protected on all sides, like any other defensive objective, like your launch pads, like your geological surveys. You have to defend them on all sides. And depending on their positioning kind of dictates how you defend them. So if they're in the corner of a map or on the edge of a map, then you can sometimes just get away with defending three sides, right? But when it comes to a convoy, you have to always defend on all sides of the convoy. So if you have an APC or a vehicle of some kind that you have to drive, and then another person has to get in, that's half the team. And vehicles by nature aren't very agile. So it's not a very good solution to defending a convoy. It's certainly not a very good solution in defending a survivor escort. Because not only are you not agile, and not only do you have at least two Helldivers in a vehicle, you have one other Helldiver escorting the survivors, then the vehicle also has to not run people over. And then if you have enemies within the survivors, the vehicle's really not going to help you to get that kind of precision in shooting to defend the survivors. It's just very, very awkward and not good. Should I try the third mission here?
Hellport launch sequence initiated. Crew to stations.
Okay, so
Crew to stations.
I could do this the cheap way, where I have nothing but emplacements, or well, I don't know, like I would have to do just emplacements to do this. And I also don't have anyone else with me, obviously. I wonder how much time this recording has been going on for. I'm going to say like a half hour, I'm guessing. So let's join someone else's game. Hopefully my ping's okay. Cyborg, difficulty 10, forest. So I don't like all-terrain boost in all-terrain boots in the forest, only because sometimes water really isn't that plentiful. Sometimes water really isn't an issue. You can just use land the whole time. So I'll stick with the auto-injector. Double freedom. I'm going to be against tanks. I don't remember seeing if there's anything. I have such a horrible habit of now not looking at the map at all. I need to look at the map more often. So we're in transit right now with a black box. I have no business calling in my stratagems right now. It doesn't make it... Well, see, now this person's calling in their stratagems. We're clearly, like, moving a black box here, and then they kill themselves, so we're going to spend a lot of time here now. So we pretty much wasted some time here. We're not moving. Someone called in a stratagem, and then we ended up staying in an area for a while. Then they killed themselves with it, and so some inefficiency there with time. Someone told them to drop the box, but we really should be dropping it maybe down here. Right, because the drop-off point is to the right. So we have to go down, get the escort, and then go right.
Reloading. Dropping equipment.
Affirmative.
Reloading. Stand by. Equipment on its way.
I want to get the black box away from the coming offensive by the enemy. Now we have to go get the survivors.
Engaging target area.
I'm not expecting that rail cannon strike to hit anything. They should have saved it for when we were in danger. It's on a 60-second cooldown, and it looks like they have the stratagem perk, so it's not a terrible waste, I suppose. Want to be careful not to shoot survivors if they are in this area. There they are. Don't. That guy's just blatantly shooting the survivors. Wow, okay. He just outright killed that one guy.
Engaging target area.
I have yet to call in any of my stratagems because we are often on the move. I don't want to call it in right now. We should be moving as soon as the survivors go in.
Dropping equipment. Repeat.
I don't know why we're calling in jump packs. That could have been done so long ago. So we wasted some time there waiting for a jump pack stratagem. We should be moving to the capture area. We have no reason to fight. All we're doing is moving along here. Okay. Okay. Well, that's a rough spawn. Good rail cannon strike. Good satchel. Good demolisher there. He does have to reload his recoilless rifle. I should be able to help him with that when I call in my stuff. We can do assisted reloads. Just want to get to this capture area. The map doesn't show it's in water. No, it's not. Sometimes the map data's not accurate with what the map actually is. So now that we're at the capture area, I'm going to call in my stratagems. We have to wait here anyway, so I'm not wasting any time doing so. I'm going to hide behind here, I don't want to self-heal. Sometimes hiding behind an object to not set off an alarm is a good idea.
Affirmative. Reload.
I can reload you.
Engaging target area.
Not sure what that is. Okay. Not sure where we're going here. We can just go straight down to extraction. I'll throw an incendiary bomb down there.
Extraction confirmed. Stand by. Equipment on its way. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Stand by. Equipment on its way. Deploying ordnance. ETA team defense drop incoming. Equipment on its way. Stand by. Equipment on its way.
I'm getting somewhat low on ammo, but I'm not worried. We seem to have some ammo boxes on the ground available for pickup.
ETA T-minus 30 seconds. ETA T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10 seconds. ETA T-minus 5 seconds. Defense drop incoming. Shuttle's arriving. Firing for effect. Over.
We should all be able to get on.
Engaging target area.
So we had some slight mistakes with the timing in which we called in our stratagems. We did it during transit, and it was things that the group didn't need at the time either, like a jump pack, for example. I can't really think of I can't think of a situation you would be in where in that moment you just had to have a jump pack, so you would call one in. We were running from, after dropping off the survivors, we were running to the capture area, so having that instant urge to just call in a jump pack was a little waste of time. So you could imagine we'd be standing around waiting, maybe a patrol comes up and sets off an alarm, and then it kind of escalates from there. Now earlier we did also have that problem where someone decided to call in, what was it? Was it a shield?
Hellport launch sequence initiated.
I forget what they were calling in. Oh no, a
I
demolisher.
repeat. Crew to station.
They just had this incredible need to call in a demolisher while we were running, and then they died from it, and then an alarm was called, and then luckily we fought them off. But none of that would have happened if we just kept running. That player wouldn't have died, an alarm wouldn't have went off. And then if you could imagine if we weren't equipped correctly for the difficulty that we were on, we could have lost the game even because of that. So it's all like a cascade of errors that leads up to failure. So I'm not sure how long this. I think after this I have to stop the recording. It's gonna get way too long. I don't really like long videos. Not because I hate uploading them, but I'm sure like someone doesn't want to sit for however long looking at a video for an hour plus. Always watch for falling players.
Equipment on its way. Stand by. Equipment on its way.
No patrols in the area, so
Jumping!
pretty good.
Engage!
Patrols are often
To the skies!
patrols often set off the alarm in like the first 30 seconds after landing. They are attracted to the beacons, so just keep that in mind. No one has a sniffer, so I will call one in.
Stand by. Equipment on its way.
Jumping!
Seems like I might be the only one with a reliable anti-tank, but I'm not sure if they have like a rail cannon strike or if they have anything else that could take out a cyborg IFV or an overlord. I think this guy wants to do some disarming, so I'll just let him disarm it. Gonna keep on scanning here.
Firing for effect.
I think that's the last. Nope. Okay. Okay, so we do have a player with a demolisher. So where do we go next? Looks like bottom right. We do have to find some survivors.
Reload! Reload!
I'm guessing we should first see if we could search for them.
To the skies! Jumping!
Well, oh. We are shooting the survivors, apparently. If you don't touch the survivors initially, then the enemy won't... I don't know why this guy is just killing survivors. Now he set off the survivors, so now they're actually fair game to be attacked. The Rep 80 there actually saved it. If you don't touch the survivors initially, the enemy won't attack them. Same thing with the convoy. If you don't touch the convoy, the enemy won't attack it. But once you touch it, then it's fair game. Also, with the Justice and the Breaker, you have to understand that you have unstoppable rounds. So your rounds will go through your target.
Affirmative.
And if you don't understand that, then it could lead to killing or hurting your teammates and other unintended targets. I'm going to keep the objective moving here. I have to reload my recoilless rifle. I'm not sure where the other shell is. It's like here somewhere. Oh, it's right there. Okay. I will reload my recoilless rifle as soon as we get to the truth transmitter. It takes 5 seconds for me to do it alone, so doing it while we're in transit to another objective does not make sense.
Dropping equipment.
I didn't want to shoot if I didn't have to. We should be able to outrun an overlord. It's very slow. We are quite close to the artillery now. The Cyborg AA, anti-air artillery.
Dropping equipment. Equipment on its way.
That's a problem. That tank on the left side is going to be a problem. Oh god.
Request confirmed. Accepted.
Hopefully we don't fall on the hell bomb. Oh, this is bad.
Request confirmed. Request acknowledged.
We do have items that we have to get. Oh, okay.
Firing for effect.
I'm not sure why we're not moving down more.
Equipment on its way. Request
Like, we could just fight if we go down. We seem to be so far up. Like, why are we so far up now? Like, fight them, right? Can't shoot an overlord. I thought that one guy had demolishers. Guess we're not fighting. I mean, we are, but... Wow. Don't pick them up yet. Now pick them up. There's another tank.
engaging target area.
I kind of felt like after the hell bomb went off that we could have fought that. Just go down and fight them. But instead we kept retreating upward. Okay.
Jumping! Jumping!
Extraction confirmed. Shuttle inbound.
Reloading my recoilless rifle now.
1 minute 30 seconds. Dropping on its way. Dropping equipment. Repeat. Dropping equipment. T-minus 1 minute. Equipment on its way.
Seems like emplacements are very popular with this group.
Hold out. T-minus 30 seconds.
Excuse me.
Watch yourself. T-minus 15 seconds.
Hello to democracy!
T-minus 10 seconds. T-minus 5 seconds. Shuttle arriving.
I feel like we should all be able to get on, so I will get on the shuttle.
Shuttle leaving.
That's it.
T-minus 10 seconds.
So I'll stop the recording here. I think it's gone on long enough. I think for the most part we did okay in this mission. That last part where things got a little bit hairy, that tank spawning on the left side where we were, that was dicey. I think I died to an Overlord exploding. I don't remember how it exploded. I think maybe the Hell Bomb fell on it, the Hell Bomb pod fell on it, and then it just blew up, and then it killed me. But then after being called back in the middle of a shredder explosion, I felt like we could have fought back instead of retreating upward. In the end, we got our stuff back, and then we were able to complete the mission rather easily with 3 emplacements. Emplacements are pretty powerful, but I don't think emplacements should be called during those objectives where you can complete them rather quickly. So I feel like the emplacement that was called in during the truth transmitter, as long as you have someone pounding at that panel and reacting to the steps to complete the objective, I think calling in an emplacement there isn't necessary. It's not going to last very long. You're going to be there for maybe less than a minute, and you're going to move on to the next objective. So calling in something defensive like an emplacement or a minigun turret or like the railgun turret or anything defensive like that, I think would be a waste. You would want to save your emplacement for those objectives that perhaps you need to capture, like a capture area, for example, or something you have to defend, geological survey, your convoys, things like that. You would, sometimes people use miniguns, the turrets with the convoys, but not convoys, like things you have, like geological survey and launch pad. You would want to do like the emplacement and your minigun turret, your railgun turret, like those things. But certainly not objectives that don't take very long to complete. So I think if you go back and you look at that one scene where we were at the truth transmitter, I had to reload my recoilless rifle, and I was doing all the steps. I was pounding away at that panel. That emplacement didn't last very long, so it was kind of a waste. Other than that, though, that's really all I can think of. I think everything else in that mission went pretty well. So that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.